Well, hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for being here in this live webinar presentation. I suppose I should probably clarify this is live if you're actually listening to my voice right now at 6 o'clock Central Time on January 7th, 2026. If you are listening to this in the recording on the replay page, YouTube, or anything like that, of course, YouTube Live now, you're good. YouTube tomorrow, yeah, you're probably listening to a replay, but you probably know that as well. So, anyways, welcome everyone, and thank you for being here live. If you're coming to me on the replay, thank you for being here on the replay. Tonight, we are very excited that you are going to hear from Melissa Beegle, a trader who went from learning supply and demand to teaching it, and who built real consistency using a structured 0 DTE SPX approach. She's going to walk you through how she plans her trades, defines risk, and stays grounded even during high stress market conditions. Oh, no sound in the room, just closed caption. Well, I'm going to go ahead and keep rolling here. I'll be out of the way in just a second. She's joined by Trendy John McKeever, Director of Supply and Demand at Simpler Trading, whose work in building and refining these frameworks has helped thousands of traders develop more clarity and discipline. John helped guide this process from the very beginning, and together they'll break it all down step by step. Let's get started.
Hey guys, let's go ahead and try this. Can you hear me? All right, there we go. You can hear me, right? I almost busted in real fast and started reading what I was seeing coming across the screen. I thought that would be funny. It's an amazing day today. Before we get started, I get to be the guy that reads the disclaimer, and I love doing this. Really, I do. Futures and options trading has large potential rewards, but also large potential risk. Let me interject here and put a little bit of something I teach. You will lose in trading, and when it happens, you better define your risk. And tonight, there is nobody better than Melissa to tell you how to define your risk. I'm telling you that right now. You guys are going to learn a ton tonight. But before I start, you must be aware of the risk and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the futures and option markets. Don't trade with money you're not willing to lose, okay? Do not trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Can we all say yes? Can everybody participate right now and say, yes, I understand? I understand I'm not going to trade with money that I can't afford to lose. Damn it. Don't do it. This is neither a solicitation nor an offer to buy, sell futures or options, futures, anything. No representation here is made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses. Okay. There is no guarantee that you're going to win in trading, folks. Okay. This past performance of any trading, including Melissa's tonight, that she will be talking to you about is not indicative of future results. Okay. Does everybody understand what that means? It means that, hey, we're going to show you a lot of really cool stuff, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't mean that it will absolutely happen. Now, listen, it's dangerous. Trading is dangerous. We're all adults here. I would believe that everybody in the room tonight is old enough to trade. And if we are, then let's go ahead and move forward. Okay. Before we do that, we like to always ask, where is everyone coming from? Do we have any newbies? If you're new, just say new and say where you're from. Where are in where are you guys coming from? Let's look at this, Mel. What did it say? Trinity John loves his what? Bright shirts. Hell yeah, Michael. I do, man. I love them. I'm a bright guy. I like to keep it positive. Law of attraction, baby. All right. Papa John, Antonio, what's going on, man? David, Jason, AJ, Bob, Bill T, Michelle. I see a lot of names in here. Michael Bolin, what's up, man? Lori, Debbie, John, Jaws, David, Allen. A lot of names in here, Mel. lots of names. We have a full house in the house, and I am super excited for Mel. This is a sensitive. Okay, I see Oklahoma in there. I'll give you a shout out. Not many people would shout out Oklahoma, but let's all go ahead and round of applause for Janet. Janet coming from Oklahoma. Um, Mel and I know Oklahoma really well. My father retired there at Tinker Air Force Base, and Mel has been there as well. And glad you could join us. Denton, Texas, New Orleans, David from Texas, Mexico, New Nashville, New Pennsylvania. I'm seeing a lot of news in here. Guys, welcome. You have found the best place, I believe, in the ecosystem. It is a very difficult place to find good mentors. You are at the right place, okay? Let's go to this slide. I'm seeing it right here. This slide is interesting, right? It's a picture that I just took. I took a voyage with my family. We went to the Caribbean for Christmas, right before Christmas. And what's really neat about this is, although I did not necessarily extract the cash from my account, I made enough to pay for this account or for this trade. And it was great, and we had a really good time. And things are possible through trading. There are a lot of positives, like meeting Melissa, and I'm going to get to that here in a second. I'm Jonathan McKeever. I'm going to make this really short because it's not about me. We're here for Melissa. I am the creator of the trending methodology. Okay. I am a mentor, I am a coach, and I would say that I'm a very strict coach, and that our mission, including me and Melissa, is to make sure that you are going to be the best trader that you can be. I'm not going to fluff things. Melissa's not going to fluff things. We are going to give you discipline, process, and we're going to give you a strategy that's going to take your P&L from the lower left to the upper right. That is absolutely my mission. And that is Melissa's mission as well. I have 10 plus years of trading experience, 10, 20, 30. Who cares? What I could tell you is that it's all about what's between your ears, and we are going to teach you how to think like a professional trader. I'm a retired Air Force veteran. I did 21 years in the Air Force. And what I learned is that people are by far the most important part of any mission. If you are not ready, if you are not thinking right like a professional athlete, let me tell you right now, all of you in here, you're about to become professional athletes. And in order for you to perform, you have to have good coaches. And Melissa is a great coach. And hey, before I even go on, can people in here please just take a few minutes and say, hey, if you know Melissa, is she not amazing? Yes. Let's just see a bunch of yeses. I need to get pumped up here, and so does Melissa. This is
Know how
Melissa's
much
first
I love
webinar.
this part.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Melissa loves to
Oh,
hear it.
jeez.
Don't BS us. I mean, I need the
Oh,
new people here. Look, I'm not getting paid to say this stuff, right? I mean, we are here for Melissa. Let's rock and roll. All right. She is absolutely amazing. And I told her, I'm going to let her tell her story, but I also want to tell my own personal story. And I actually wrote this down, Mel. That's what I've been doing for 30 minutes. And Mel knows that I've been dealing with a little bit of anxiety. And I was trying to think about like what it was, Melissa. And do you know, like, I think I came up with it, and I'm not making this up because tonight's your webinar, but I just absolutely adore you as a trader. And it's like if you were my child, and I have three girls, as you guys can see in this picture, I have a beautiful family. And I want you guys, I want Melissa, and I know Melissa is going to succeed, and I am behind her 100%. And this is just a big moment for me, Melissa. It was just a couple of years ago that you were a student, and now you are here as a professional trader. And I want everyone, if you don't mind, if you could just take a moment, please. Close your eyes for a few seconds. And I want you to picture something. Okay? Are you guys ready? Is everybody got their eyes closed? You know, just tell me that you have them closed and then we can get going. Okay. Yeah, my girl is all grown up, Tim. Tim, you know I care. I reached out to Tim today. I wanted to make sure he was okay. Immediately. Immediately. We absolutely care about you guys. But please close your eyes for a few seconds, and I want you to listen to this story. You too, Mel. Picture this, a quiet suburban mom in her blank. I'd never tell a woman's age. If she wants to tell you, she can. She's juggling kids, and I know this. I call her my sister. I call this girl more than probably anybody in my entire family. And when her and I get on the phone, man, we can talk over 2 hours. She's juggling not only her kids, her parents, her grandkids. She's going to soccer practices. We're getting to see videos of first goals by her grandkid. And then suddenly you're staring down this zero income because unfortunately, Chris, her husband, lost his job overnight. And this sounds like a plot twist that none of us would ask for. Except what I love about Melissa is that she didn't wait around for Calvary to come and help her. She didn't call me. She's so humble and she's so convicted that she knew what she had to do. She took her laptop, she got her computer ready, and she took the mentorship tools, not only that I've taught her, other people have taught her as well. And she put it all together and she even tweaked it. Do you guys know like those lovely recipes that you get from grandma or grandpa? Maybe not grandpa. Grandmas who give you like this lovely recipe and you're like, "Man, it tastes so damn good, but I know if I just add just a little bit of sprinkle of this, it's going to be so much better." That's what she's done. And she cracked the code on SPX options. She's turned panic, listen to me, she's turned panic into profit because I could tell you if I had lost that, I would be panicking. And I probably would have picked up the phone and called Melissa. She netted over $500 a day. And this is before most folks can even finish their first coffee. Now, I drink my coffee throughout the whole day. It's probably a bad thing. But for most folks, she's already made her money. She's not just a student turned star trader. And I want to make sure that I said this, Melissa. I always say that. She's a student to star. And she still is, but I'm kind of bored of that. She's much more than that. To you, to me, to everybody, she's a living proof that she's smart, she's disciplined, and if you know Melissa, you know damn well there is nobody convincing her. Nobody's convincing her to get FOMO'd into a trade or to take a trade that's not within her wheelhouse. She will wait for those levels. She will execute those levels. And damn, Mel, I don't know the percentage that you're winning at, but it's high. It's really, really high. So, not only that, but she's really good with tech. And ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the woman of the hour, Melissa, who I call my sister. And I think all of you guys would, in the future, if you're new here, you will be calling her your mentor. All right. So thanks, Mel. I appreciate being here. I loved opening up for you. It's actually a true blessing for me. And I think that's where my anxiety came from this week. I really, really know you're going to do well, and it just pumps me up. So good luck and have fun tonight.
Awesome. Thanks, brother from another mother. No, seriously, John, thanks so much. So much of my success is tied to you and what I have learned over the last 3.5 years. So, thank you all for being here, for coming out to hear my story. John told a little bit of it, but I need to really get down to business. I want to talk about my family. Usually during webinars, I skip over the family part and just talk about the trading part, but so much of The story that I'm going to tell you tonight has to do with my family. I have been married to Chris. This is Chris, my husband. We were high school sweethearts. I'm not afraid to tell my age. I am almost 53 next month. But this is my husband. We were high school sweethearts. We've been married for 35 years. His name's Chris. I have two amazing adult children, Justin and Caitlin. My boy lives right down the street and has blessed me with these three grandkids that you see right here with Chris and I. And then my daughter, Caitlin, lives in New York City with her fiance, and she's amazing as well. No kids yet, but I'm waiting. So, that is my husband, my kids, my grandkids, and also a huge part of my life is my mom and dad, because 8 years ago, my mom and dad could not afford to live on Social Security, and they moved in with Chris and I. I don't know if maybe that's something new, you've not heard of that or something like that, but that's just how our family works. We take care of, each other, and that, for me, has been taking care of my mom and dad for the last 18 years. So they also live with us. I began investing. I've always loved the stock market. I loved economics in school. I studied economics in school. I've always loved stock market. So I've been investing for basically my adult life, way over 25 years. I got into trading, actual trading, like options trading, just over 8 years ago. And I found Trendy John and the trendy way of trading supply and demand over 3 years ago, and began teaching traders how to trade supply and demand with Trendy John. And golly, I just absolutely fell in love with it. I truly have a passion to help traders become disciplined and consistent. So that's pretty much my story up until the big reason why. Now, we all have a reason why. Your reason why might be different than mine. My reason why, when trading became real, like real for me, was because my husband lost his job. It was very unexpected. You have to understand, I have to mention that Chris was a breadwinner in our family ever since we've been married for 35 years. And I have worked, but it has never been like you have to make the money to pay the bills type of working. It's always been because I love to work, I love to help people, and I've had several different types of careers that I've absolutely loved all of them. And I just worked because honestly, I like to work. And but October 2024, it was actually the exact day of September 24th, 2024, everything changed because my husband came home and said that he lost his job. He was getting a small, very small severance package, and I was left with figuring out how I was going to keep a roof over our head, food on the table, utilities paid, those sorts of things. So in October 2024, when Chris unexpectedly lost his job, I sat down with a calculator and I came up with how much money I needed to average in my trading a week to keep the lights on. And that came up to about $2,000 a week. Now, to be clear, I had already been trading for a while, over 8 years, right? But for the first time in my trading, my profits needed to pay the household necessities, not just for me, but for my parents, my husband, my grandkids, all of us. They were all counting on me to take care of them. I had no choice but to perfect my craft. So I immediately opened a trading account outside of my normal account that I trade in the trendy room. The pressure really forced me to examine my intraday trading and build a system that I could repeat. And that's what I'm going to share with you today, or an overview of that process and what I will be teaching in the class on Saturday in great detail. So, let's talk about the first 30 days because, when you are trading a whole under a whole new set of pressures, the first 30 days, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it just started off with a bang. You know, most traders don't even have a process, they have a vibe. Now, I had a process that had been taught and by Trendy John and others that I've been trading for a long time. But during the first month of day trading SPX, it felt like I was just trading on a vibe. It was not easy. It was a lot of stress. And I found out very quickly that I had to find out the reason and a fix for the inconsistency. You see, it was one thing to trade from a small account and double it from 5,000 to 10,000 every few months like I had been doing in the trendy room. But the stakes during this situation were so high that I had to change things because I was trading much larger size and I had daily profit goals that my family was depending on me to meet. So, the first 30 days, I had erratic gains. I had some erratic losses. But I finished the month, but I was only up a few $100s. So now it was time to review all of my trades. I had to see what was causing the inconsistency and find a fix for it. So, after many, many hours of reviewing my journal, I learned that I was chasing moves. I was trading in the middle of zones. I had no defined process for finding confirmation in a zone, and that was killing my profits. It was time to find a fix, and I had to find it quickly. You see, I learned real quick the market doesn't care about my opinion. It doesn't care about what I think should happen each day coming into the market. My edge is not in forecasting. It is in being patient and waiting for price to come to predefined areas and then executing a repeatable trade. Now, I'm going to show you what this looks like in real trades that I have recently taken, but the exact method for marking zones and targets will be taught in the class. Every morning, I find buy and sell zones to trade from. Then I have a confirmation strategy that I use to execute a trade once price has made it to my zone. That's a three-step strategy. Patience is key, my friends. Then I love scaling out at first targets and having a break even stop. This helped me to lock in profits quickly and to protect my capital. I shifted my overly bullish bias to trade mechanically in either direction. And last but certainly not least, I set a max loss per day amount that would keep me from revenge trading after a couple of losses. And if that max loss was hit in a day, I quit day trading SPX for that day so that I could come back the next day ready to trade the zones with a positive mindset and a clear goal. Is it was it not? I'm sorry, it wasn't advancing. Sorry about that. But anyway, the max loss, I came back that way I was able to come back with a positive mindset and a clear goal the following day. So, long story short, I can tell you this. Now, so I've seen some questions in here about you didn't see alerts. You're probably already a member of the SPX room. I can tell you that while I was trading SPX, I wasn't even a part of the SPX room during this time. I was doing it behind the scenes, right? In a separate account because I knew that I was going to have to change the sizing and how I was trading. But long story short, I'm happy to say that during the very long 8 months, my husband was unemployed for 8 months. He had no job, no income. I was able to use the repeatable process to generate income that paid my family's bills. Not every day was a green day. There were even days that I hit my max loss per day, but each week was green and each month was also green. The best part is that being forced to turn my trading into income, I proved to myself that if the unforeseen was to happen again, I can trade in a way that pays my bills and takes care of my family. And that is called financial peace. And it is the most important thing I achieved in this entire process. Was it stressful? Sure. But was it worth it? Absolutely. Because I now have the peace to know that I can use trading to generate income consistently. Now, I have a daily routine. I don't know about you, but I love routine. I live off of routine. So I have a daily routine. Every day starts the same way. I'm going to find the intraday buy and sell zones. I'm going to find my targets. And once I have the blueprint ready, I wait for price to enter a zone. Then I wait for my triple confirmation to trigger an entry. And then I manage the trade accordingly. The class will teach you how I build the zones, how I create a trade plan, how to execute that trade with the confirmation. So, let me show you an example of what a daily blueprint looks like. Okay, on this daily blueprint, I have a sell zone. See, I have it labeled what why this is the sell zone. It's a bearish golden pocket, a 4-hour inside and down. If you don't understand any of that, don't worry. We're going to cover it in the class. Here is an upper DE. That stands for upper daily edge. Upper daily edges are an automated indicator that tells me where that day's sell zone is at. So this what is the sell zone? Look down at this gray box. This is my first buy zone. It is here because I have the lower daily edge, which equals a buy zone, right? Automated indicator. This is my buy zone where I'm looking to buy calls. Now, I trade straight up calls and puts. I trade from a cash account. I don't trade spreads. So, if you trade spreads, you can use this process and trade spreads. That's fine. I'm just telling you, for me, I only trade calls. I only go long calls or go long puts. So from a buy zone, I'm looking to go long calls. From a sell zone, I'm looking to go long puts. So this is my daily blueprint. Now, this is very important for me to mention. A zone is an area where I'm willing to do business because of structure, fibs, whatever. It creates a reason to expect a reaction at that zone. But not every level on my chart is a zone, and not every zone on my chart is a trade. This is where the confirmation strategy comes into play and patience is necessary. So let's look at some recent trade examples. And I'll just go through them pretty quick. This example is using XSP. So trading XSP is the same as trading SPX. All right. But if I'm going to be alerting trades on a symbol that I might be in a trade for 2 minutes, I feel more comfortable alerting it as an XSP trade, which is 1/10 the size of an SPX. All right. So this is all based on an XSP chart, but I trade this also using SPX. And basically, you can just imagine that the profits are 10 times the size. The cost is 10 times and the profits are 10 times. So in this example, I waited for confirmation in the sell zone. I entered by buying $682 puts, 0 DTE for $1.25 a contract, and then exited down here at the buy zone, which would be my target, for $5.65 a contract. Then I took the trade with confirmation from the buy zone up to the first target, up to the second target, and then stopped at break even. So this trade netted, it was two trades from both a sell zone and a buy zone, netted $530 of profit if I were just trading one contract. Okay, so $530 of profit combined for these two trades, trading XSP one contract. Up next is a trade. Sometimes, towards the end of the day, SPX gets really volatile. And on the days that SPX comes into a buy or a sell zone in the last 30 minutes of the day, I will take an what we call end of day trade. In this example, SPX came up into the sell zone. I bought at the money puts. I always buy at the money if it's an end of day trade. These at the money puts cost me 70 cents or $70, and I allowed them to cash settle for $350 a contract. So, profit of $280 of contract just by taking a put position out of a sell zone and allowing it to cash settle. Let's look at, let's talk about a loser. Remember, I told you earlier, not every trade is a winner and not every day was a green day, right? All right. So here's an example of a loser. As I mentioned, not every trade's a winner, but every trade that I take has a defined stop, and taking the loss when the plan says so is better than holding on for hopium that the trade will work eventually. I have found that the first test of a zone, I want you to notice, in this trade, I took this first test and made profits. Then I took a second test of the zone and I started the position here. I added to the position here, and a higher high was my stop, and I was stopped out of the position right here. So it was a loss, but it was with out of a zone that I'd already collected profits. So that is an example of a loss, but I have a defined process and know where my risk is on every single trade. Okay? All right. Let's look at the next example. In this example, I wanted to give you an example of a choppy day. You know, not all days are trending days in SPX. So I'm going to tell you that there is a way to still hit my profit goals even on choppy days. In this example, I had one entry from a buy zone that I collected quick profits from. So $75 a contract. It wasn't a big move. It was 6 points, 5 points, 6 points, right? Collected only $70 a contract. Then I waited for the trade to set up again, waiting for confirmation again as we rounded out here, and executed the same contract, but this time, because time has passed, executed the same contract for another about $75 a contract. Now, this isn't huge profits. This is $150 total. But what I wanted to demonstrate that even if we're not getting trending moves, you can still, with proper risk management and confirmation at levels, we can still make money trading, day trading SPX. All right. Now, I need to talk about swing trading because I don't only day trade, I also swing trade. SPX, XSP, whichever one you would choose is up to you, right? I like to alert my XSP swing trades. And there are opportunities as well. I don't know if you caught the screen that we shared earlier of a trade while John was introducing and talking about me. That was a swing trade that we executed using a lower trendy edge, lower weekly edge. We executed that on a Friday afternoon and collected profits at target Monday. It's pretty cool. Here's another example of a swing trade, and this is a different type of trade. And believe me, you're going to learn all these different strategies in the class and in our live trading sessions together. But this is another strategy that we took together in the room, long above this 683.20, had targets at 680, 752, 690, and 692.03. Three contracts. First target 95%, second target 106. Finally exited just due to time of day 346%. That was an awesome swing trade, just like the one that we had earlier this week. Now, I've mentioned the word trendy edges several times, and I want to talk about trendy edges because when I was working with our team on doing this webinar, they asked me, not everybody likes to manually find levels. Is there an indicator in the trendy indicators that you would say that's the indicator that makes this easy? Or more convenient. I don't want to say easy, more convenient. And I said, yeah, absolutely. The trendy edges, because trendy edges represent a playing field of supply and demand. a playing field of a buy zone and a sell zone. So let's look at this trade. What if you want to use automated buy and sell zones? Well, guess what? The trendy edges are the answer. In this trade example, price rallied from the daily buy zone right to target at the daily sell zone. And then after topping wicks, lower highs from the sell zone, it gave a round trip back to the buy zone. No manually finding levels, simply using the trendy edges. Pretty cool, right? So, I told you my passion is to help traders, right? And what is how are you going to get to $500 a day profit or whatever your number might be? I don't know what your number is, but I will encourage you to have a profit goal each day. Do you want to go on a dream vacation? Figure out the cost, figure out how much time you have until you are going on the vacation, and then you're going to get your goal amount, right? I don't know what your number is. I'm giving you my number that I used during those 8 months my husband wasn't employed. All right. So, my path to $500 a day, I want to get you on the path to blank dollars a day. How am I going to do that? I'm going to do that by instilling the process that I use into your head. This is a repeatable process. I want you to know where you're going to be a buyer and where you're going to be a seller before the bell ever rings. And how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to help you learn to identify trend. I'm going to help you learn to identify having a repeatable process and creating a daily blueprint. I'm going to help you learn to move your stops and take your profits as the market gives you them. All of those things will be taught in I am so excited about this, guys. I can't even tell you how excited. I have been waiting and talking about wanting to do a class for, oh, I don't know, like the last 7 months. And it's finally here. So I'm super duper excited. I'm going to instill this process into your brain first by doing a 4-hour in depth class on Saturday, this Saturday. All right. We're not going to push this out. We're not going to have another webinar, none of that other stuff. One webinar, boom, class on Saturday. Don't worry. If you can't be there on Saturday, don't worry. Guess what? It'll be recorded and you can watch it as many times as you want. All right. So 4-hour in-depth class on Saturday where I will teach you every detail about my process. How I find buy and sell zones, how I use the trendy edges, how I find targets along the way, how I wait for confirmation in a zone, how I manage a trade by moving my stops as the trade turns into a winner. All of it. All of it. All right. Now, who is this class for? Well, it's for traders that want to make some supplemental income. It's for traders that have a small account, but it's also for traders that have a large account. Because guess what? If you have a small account, I'm going to show you how you can trade XSP instead of SPX. It has the same benefits of SPX, but it's 1/10 the size. No problem. Small account, got you covered. Large account, got you covered too. Because heck, you can scale this thing up as big as you want, right? I always like to start and have something for a small account because it's scalable to a large account. So, large account, got you covered. You like structured, predefined trades, got you covered. You want a repeatable process that you can trade on your own. You're not dependent upon me. You're not dependent on Trendy John. You're not dependent on whoever, on your own. Then this class is for you. I got to talk about the trendy edges again. All right. Because I talked earlier and I showed you how I use the trendy edges for intraday trading, right? I showed you those brown boxes, buy zone, sell zone, lower daily edge, upper daily edge. Well, guess what? They don't only work for day trading. They work for swing trading. They work for leap trading. Remember, I told you I love to do leap trades and more long term investment trades. Guess what? Trendy edges work for leap trading. I can tell you that with such confidence because I have been using the yearly trendy edges now for 3 years to trade my equity account. And let's just say it's done very, very well. Okay. So, why am I mentioning all of this to you? I know you're here to talk about intraday SPX trading, but look, isn't it just a big, huge bonus if you can get an indicator that also gives you swing trades and leap trades? And did I mention that it isn't only just for SPX? No, guys, it also works for anything that has a chart. Take a look at this example. This example that you see here, this is an actual trade. We entered in the trendy room on gold. Gold, futures. It works for futures. It works for crypto. It works for Forex. I don't care. It works for everything as long as it has a chart. These trendy edges, they print automatically. So, gold on Friday, we got a pullback to a lower weekly edge. Guess what? Ding, ding, ding. Go long. I bought calls. Bottom, $2.40. First trim, $7.55. Exited them, $11.60. Real trade. Alerted in the trendy room. But that, my friends, is just using trendy edges. Pretty cool, right? I love the trendy edges. I can't talk about them enough. Sorry. All right. Now let's go back to the probably the most important part of the class and this whole idea. I talked to the awesome, awesome team here at Simpler, and I said, guys, I want to do a class. I want to teach this process, but something that is very, very important to me that must be a part of the big picture is live trading, because I can teach a class on a Saturday and I can get um, give you the entire process on that Saturday, but there's no live trading happening on a Saturday, right? The markets aren't open. And I love to teach in the moment. I learn the best. I can remember back when I was new at trading with Trendy John. I absolutely learned the best when he was live trading and talking through his process and teaching. So, guess what? I was like, I got to have this as an option for these traders. And Simpler being the absolute best company ever to period in the trading world said, "Hey, you got it, Mel." So I'm offering full day live trading sessions with me. So y'all have me all day. You can ask questions. You can follow along every single part of the process. I'm going to just spit out what's going through my brain as I'm watching candles. And we're going to work together over and over, right? All right. So live trading, we already have them scheduled. They're going to take place on Monday, January 13th, Wednesday, January 15th, Monday, January 20th, and Wednesday, January 22nd. All right? All right. So, I've told you what's included, right? Now you want to know how much it's going to cost you. Here it is. Guess what, guys? I wanted the price point to be great. And I believe that we have absolutely delivered. So let's start with the basic package. Maybe you're the trader that's like, hey, yeah, those live trading sessions, whatever, just sell me the class, give me the indicator, and I don't need the live trading. That's fine. We got a package for you. The basic package. $697. Let me tell you a secret. Number one, the trendy edges have never been sold separately. This is the first time. The first time the trendy edges have ever been sold separately. And after Saturday, if you don't take advantage of this now, after Saturday, guess what? The trendy edges are going to cost you $697. So either you're getting the class for free or you're getting the edges for free. You pick. I don't care. It is a $994 value. You're getting it for $697. All right. What if you say, hey, I love this idea. I want the class. I want that trendy edge indicator, but I would like to spend a couple of days with you to see you trade live, to really watch the process live. Guess what? Got you covered. Pro. $897. It's only cost you an extra $200, guys. That's like no lie. That is 15 hours one-on-one time with me. Obviously, not one-on-one, however many people are in the room, but you know what I'm saying. 7.5 hours two. That's like, I don't know, 4 more classes for only $200 more. And if you want to step it up and take advantage of all 4 live trading sessions, all day sessions, not the first couple hours of the market, all day sessions, all 4, the elite package. You get the class, you get the trendy edges indicator, and you get all 4 live trading sessions, $997. Now, that to me is a heck of a good deal. Some of you might already have the trendy edge indicator. Don't worry, call. The phone lines are open right now. You don't have a lot of time, right? Because this today is Wednesday. You only have until Saturday. That's when the class is. You only have until Saturday to get in on this special offer. Period. I mean, maybe the class will be sold later on, and you could buy it off the website, maybe. I don't know for sure, but what I do know is it wouldn't be the same price. It's going to be more for sure. So this is the best deal you're going to get, but you don't have long to sit on it. Okay. So if you already have the trendy indicators, go ahead and call customer support 512-266-8659, or you can email them and they will give you the deal that is just for you, those of you that have the trendy edge indicator already. Yes, it is available on TradingView, Adam. All right. So, all of you with the trendy indicator already, give customer support a call. They'll get you hooked up for your very, very special price, and you can thank me later, okay? All right. Now, let's talk about interest free payments with PayPal credit. Now, I've watched a lot of the webinars. I've done webinars with Trendy John before, and sometimes we skip or we go through this slide very, very fast. But I want to tell you a personal story about this slide because you see, before I sat on this side of the microphone and was teaching traders, guess what? I was where you are right now. Like I was a student. And this very exact same slide came up and it spoke to me. You know why? Because I was a new trader and I had lost about 40% of my account. And I stumbled upon a John Carter class. And I was watching a webinar and he talked about interest free payments. And I was intrigued. So I signed up through the PayPal credit, 6 months, zero interest. It's like free money. That's what I thought of it as. So, of course, being the person I am, I was like, okay, so this class is $3,000. I got 6 months to pay it back. I need to make $500 a month from these learning this process. Okay, got it. And that's how I took advantage of one of my very first classes at Simpler Trading was by using the 0% interest for 6 months PayPal credit. So if you feel like you can't afford the 697 or 897 or $997, I want you to know PayPal credit is an option, 0% interest for 6 months. Again, if you already have the trendy indicators, then give customer support a call. They're going to give you a deal because you already have the indicators. If you do not have the indicators and you think that this is something you want to be a part of, I would love to have you join me. So, whether you choose the basic, the pro, or the elite, either way, I look forward to seeing you Saturday at 12 o'clock Central Time to 4 o'clock Central Time for our class. All right. I guess, did we have any questions, Lorna or John, that I would need to answer? I know we always try to do a little Q&A here. Never Chase? Yeah, I've been more involved in the SPX room. Yes, absolutely.
Hey, Mel, I saw
Oh,
one
yeah.
that was, I thought it was pretty interesting. They said, what happens after the 4 classes?
Oh, well, I mean, we do have a room. It's not part of any of the packages just because let me explain why. I wanted to keep the price points affordable. So I was like, let's not have memberships in it. But we have a SPX room here at Simpler that if you like what you see, after those 4 live trading sessions, you can join us in the SPX room.
And what kind of size account do they need in order to get that $500 a day?
So if you are trading, I would say my account that I was trading from when I needed to make this money is I took $25,000 and had a separate account just to trade SPX. Started out with a $25,000 account, and I say 500 a day, but there were many days the profits were more than 500. So, yeah, but I mean, you can do it with a $10,000 account as well. As long as you are trading from a cash account, if it's 10,000, right? And you're trading straight up calls and puts where there's no pattern day trading rules, then a $10,000 account, I'm pretty confident in saying that you could I can't promise anything, but yeah, 10,000. I was doing it when I started that account, I started with 25,000 though. Uh, Ron, how do I buy and sell all day with under 25,000? Because I'm trading out of a cash account. So I don't trade any spreads at all. AB says you can deliver 500 per day with a 5,000 cash account if you're patient with your setups. And it sounds like AB might be speaking from experience, but yeah, can I put up the live trading dates again? You bet. Here they are. Let's see. I got to go back a couple slides. Nope. Why isn't this going backwards? There we go. There's the live trading date. Sorry about that. Um, how many times a day am I doing trades on average with the trading plan? I can tell you, Doc, whenever I was actively trading SPX for income to pay my bills, I was averaging probably about 4 trades a day. Now, I was very disciplined that once I hit my goal or was above my goal, that I would only use a small portion of the profits over my goal to take another trade if I even took another trade. Anybody see, John, did you see any other questions? Oh, we will have, for those of you that sign up, I believe we're going to have a Q&A session on Friday on YouTube.
I like Never Chase's question. Says, will you be moderating the SPX
Yep,
room in the
I
future?
answered
Did
that
you
one.
answer that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm. Chris, how many hours in front of the computer? That's up to you, my friend. I'm going to show you ways that you can trade off of those edges that you don't even have to be in front of your computer. You just put the trade in and walk away. It's really going to be up to you. Is there a scanner for this system? RM, honestly, we don't need a scanner, right? Because we're trading SPX or XSP. Um, all right. I think I can wrap it up. I will say, yes, Trader G, great question. And those trendy edges work anything that has a chart. That is a steal in its own right, guys. It's crazy. Yeah, but it's a great deal. Those trendy edges are yeah, awesome. Amazing. Um, okay. If I didn't answer your question, I'm not trying to skip over it, believe me. Join me on YouTube. Lorna, do you have the time when that YouTube session is going to be? Q&A session, I believe 15 minutes after the closing bell on Friday. I'm going to do a Q&A session, okay? Oh, Jeffrey, you know I use all of the trendy indicators, but yeah. Yes. Yep. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I really, truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day and listening to my story. I am super excited for this class. Like I said, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to do it, and I'm very excited. And I'm thankful for the opportunity. I'm thankful to Trendy John. I'm thankful to Mandy and John Carter and all of the Simpler Trading team for believing in me 3 years ago and providing the opportunity to help others because there is nothing that I enjoy more than helping others become better. So, thank you all so much. I'm going to wrap it up here and I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. But again, don't sleep on the deal, guys. This thing is it's Wednesday, you got 2 days and then it's the class. After we do the class, the price goes up. Okay? That's just the way it is. So take advantage if this is something that interests you. All right? All right.
Awesome
That'll do
job.
it.
Awesome job, Mel.
Thanks.
Thanks for everyone coming out. See you guys in the